I'm doing well. Good morning. Hope you all are having a good day down in New Orleans, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. We are. Thanks again for joining us as always. For members of the media on the call, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions for head coach Neal Brown of Troy. Coach, before we get to that, your thoughts on last week's game, non-conference game against UMass.
Yeah, well, we took care of business. Didn't start the game very well at all. I think we were rusty. I'm glad that we, off that 17-day layoff, we played a non-conference game. But we took care of business. Thought we offensively, after the first drive of the game, really controlled it. And defensively took away the run and then gave up some passing yards, but a lot of those were late in the game. Won the turnover margin. Thought we won the special teams battle convincingly. And I thought that was the story of the game. So it was good home win, and then getting back to the conference games for the rest of the year.
And, Coach, your upcoming game against Appalachian State, what stands out to you when you look at the Mountaineers ahead of this matchup?
Well, Coach, yeah, Scott's done a very good job with them. I think they've done a great job recruiting to the system that they want to run. Not many flaws. I think the strength of their team, without a doubt, is their defense. Really well coached. Play the run as good as anybody in the country. And they've got several guys that can rush the passer. I think over the last 4 games, defensively, they've been lights out. So tremendous challenge with our offense going against that defensive unit. And then offensively, they've got 2 running backs that are playing at a high level now that Cox is back. They run the outside zone play better than anybody in the country. Taylor Lamb's a winner. He finds a way to get it done, and the Metters kid at wideout gives them a big play threat over the top. So, and they're really sound in the special teams game. So it's going to be a really good matchup. We're excited about it. We're expecting a big crowd here. We had a great game with them last year, one that they won, and really they won, I felt like, because they were the more disciplined team. So it's a good measuring stick for us to see how far we came in a year.
Thank you, Coach. Our first question has come from Brett Strelo with the Winston-Salem Journal.
Hey, Neal, just the early season Clemson game, just how do you think that result kind of positively affected the impression people had on this team, and maybe even just from within the kind of confidence that this group had?
Well, I think from the outside, it put us back on the national map, and it probably been since 2010 since Troy was on the national map, and when we won the 5 conference championships. So just from an outside perspective, it put Troy in the conversation again, and we've won since then, so we've remained in the conversation. Internally, all it did was solidify kind of what we already knew. We knew we had the makings of a good football team. I think what stood out the most that afternoon is our ability to keep fighting, and we had adversity. The thing about that game is we didn't play particularly well in any phase other than on defense. Defensively, we played really well. Offensively, on special teams, we didn't play very well at all, and still had a chance to win, and probably a call here or there away from getting the win at Clemson. So it was we gained confidence out of it, and also came out of the game with the understanding of such a game. When you play really good teams, there's just a small margin for error, and you've got to play well in all 3 phases to get the win. And I think that's something that will come true again this week.
For those of us that caught that game on TV or whatever, maybe haven't seen as much of you guys otherwise, just how would you kind of evaluate the whole body of work with the 7 wins you do have aside from that one game?
Well, I think we've taken care of business. I think when we played Southern Miss, they were playing really well, coming off a win against Kentucky, and that we went on the road the week after Clemson and got a big win, and we taken care of business in conference. That's the way I see it. I think Idaho is a good football team. I think Georgia State. You cover App, so I know that you saw Georgia State defense play App there, and Georgia State has right after App as good a defense as anybody in the country, or anybody in our conference, I should say. So I think we've taken care of business. Obviously, the close loss to Clemson, and then I think a really good road win at Southern Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brett. And, Coach, thank you very much, as always, for joining us this morning.
Thank you all. Y'all have a good day.
You as well. Thanks again for joining us on the call. And as a reminder, Troy is heading into this Saturday's game at 7-1 overall and 4-0 in Sun Belt play. They take on App State, 7-2 overall, 5-0 in Sun Belt play. This Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN3. Game will kick off from Troy, Alabama on Saturday.